Hi, it's Penny Black and Jill Foster here for your next PB&J card class, and today we'll be featuring one of Penny Black's creative dies called Love and Joy, and I've created two cards using this die. I'm also using Festive Forests, Puzzle Parts, and Warm Wishes, all by Penny Black. And here's a look at the first card that we'll be creating. This is just kind of a clean and simple card, and I love the way that die cut word joy really pops against that white background. So I'm starting with the trees, the solid trees from Festive Forest, and I'm going to be inking them with VersaMagic ink. So the first color I'm using is Turquoise Gem. I'm just inking the entire stamp. I want to make sure that it's covered really well, and then I'm going to stamp this onto white cardstock. Then I'll just clean off that stamp, and I will move on to my next color and my next stamp. And this time I'm using Mango Madness, again another VersaMagic ink. And then I'm going to stamp this second tree, and I'm going to kind of overlap it and move it up so that the trees are at varying heights. Then I'll go ahead and clean that off, and I'm ready for the next one. I love this cute little tree here with the heart. And on this one I'm using Aloe Vera VersaMagic ink. And again, varying the height and overlapping it just a bit. I'm just picking out which tree I want to do next. And now I'm using VersaMagic in the color of Perfect Plumeria. And then for the last tree, I'm going to use VersaMagic in the color of Red Magic. I started here with a different color, and then I decided I wanted a brighter color along the side. So quick before I stamped it down, I decided to change it. So I just cleaned it off and got out that Red Magic color and inked it up with that. Want to make sure that stamp is dry before I apply the ink. That'll get you the best coverage. And excuse my head there, just looking for placement. So you could actually totally stop here, and it's a really cute, quick, clean and simple card. But I decided to add a little more shading and to play around with the Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens. So first I'm taking a gray and I'm just coloring in the trunks. And then I'm going to color in the open areas on the trees. So I started here with this really light yellow, and then this is kind of the card of changing my mind. So I went back with a darker yellow. So you can see here I've just grabbed that darker yellow and I'm going over the top. I just wanted something a little bit more golden and less of sort of that neon yellow. So what I did on all of the trees, I went in and colored those solid areas using the Pit Artist pens, which are great because they have the really fine tip for little precision coloring like this. Then I grabbed the Faber-Castell Art Grip color pencils, and I just wanted to add some extra shading to the left side of all of the trees, just to give it a little bit more dimension. So I started here with a light yellow just to test it out to see what I thought. And then I did decide to go back because I couldn't really see that. I wanted something a little bit more dramatic with an orange, and just colored that right on top. And then I did that for all of the trees, just with a matching Art Grip colored pencil. And here's another look at that finished card. I just added some paint splatters and a few sequins. And of course the sentiment that was die cut. So now for this next card, I'm using the same die cut set, the Love and Joy, and I've used the peace word to add my sentiment. So I'm going to start to create the background for this card, and I'm using Puzzle Parts. And I'm going to ink this up with first archival ink in the color of Sap Green. just to get me that real light pale green. And so sorry for putting my head there in the picture. And then I'll just clean it off and I'll go on to my next color. For the next color, I'm going to use palette ink in the color of landscape. So I wanted just a little bit darker green, and I like the olive tone of this ink. And again, sorry to make you look at my head. So I'm cleaning it off and just tapping on my work surface to make sure it's dry. Next I'm using red. This is one of my favorite red inks. This is Archival Ink by Ranger in the color of Vermilion. And then I'll use another Archival ink next. This is the color Sienna. And you can see how this stamp is designed just to fit right up together. Then the next Archival ink color I'm using is Monarch Orange. And then the last color I'll use is Saffron. So I wanted to keep the colors really bright and happy for this card to go along with the bright red poinsettia. Next I'm going to be using Penny Black's new poinsettia image called Warm Wishes. And I'm going to ink this with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm stamping it onto white cardstock. I actually stamped it twice, although you only see me stamp it once in the video here. And I colored a couple of leaves and a couple extra petals on this image, and then on the other image I colored it all red. So to start with here, I'm using Copic markers. This is YG67, and then I'll add YG63. And I like to do my dark color first and then go back and blend it with the light color. And I'm cutting this out so I'm not worried about staying in the lines. And then for the petals of the poinsettia, I'll be starting with R59. Then I'll add R29. And then finally, to pull in some of that orange to match the background stamping, I'm using R08. And for the center of poinsettia, I'm using Y35. And you'll see here what I mean by I stamped it twice. So I've got one on the right hand side and one on the left, and I'm going to cut out the one on the left completely, and on the other one I'll just cut up the extra petals and the petals that I'm actually using as leaves. So those are the extra petals that I did on this second stamped image. I've curled them a bit. I'm just going to add them in here to add some more dimension and fullness. And I just stick them on there. I'm coloring with my Zig glue pen onto the back. And then the extra center I'm going to pop up. And then the leaves I'll just play with the placement once I add them to the card. And again, I've added my die cut sentiment piece to this card. For details and more information, visit Penny Black website, www.pennyblackink.com. Thanks for watching.